What if I told you about a warrior whose name alone would make massive armies tremble with fear? A man whose strength was legendary, but whose heart was so humble that he would often spend his nights in worship of God and his days serving the poor. This is not a myth or a character from a storybook. This is the true story of a great man who was not only the cousin and son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but was also known as the Lion of God. A man who stepped forward when all hope was nearly lost, and with a single strike of his sword, changed the course of history. After the historic battles of Badr and Uhud, a wind of change was blowing across Arabia. The message of Islam was spreading, and with it, the strength of the Muslim community in Medina was growing. But this rising light cast a dark shadow of fear and envy in the hearts of the pagan tribes. They saw the rise of Islam as a threat to their power and traditions. So they made a decision no one had ever imagined before. They formed a massive Confederate army of over 10,000 soldiers with a single terrifying objective: to attack Medina and wipe Islam off the face of the earth forever. When the news of this colossal army reached the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he gathered his companions for counsel. The situation was dire. The Muslims were heavily outnumbered, less than a third of the enemy's size. A direct battle would mean certain defeat. In this critical moment, a companion named Salman al-Farsi, may Allah be pleased with him, who was from Persia, proposed an extraordinary strategy, one completely new to Arabia. He said, "O Messenger of God, in our country, when we fear an attack, we protect ourselves by digging a trench." For Arabia, this was a groundbreaking military tactic. Without a moment's delay, the Prophet and his companions began the grueling task of digging a massive trench around the open parts of Medina. They worked day and night, their hands blistered and their stomachs empty with hunger, but their morale was as high as the sky. The Prophet himself carried soil and broke rocks alongside them, and his humility and determination inspired everyone. Finally, when the massive Confederate army reached the outskirts of Medina, they were completely stunned. They were stopped in their tracks by a wide and deep trench. They had never seen such a defense in their lives. Unable to cross with their horses or army, they decided to lay siege to the city, planning to starve the Muslims into surrender. Days turned into weeks. The tension was at its peak. The fate of Islam was hanging by a thread. And this is where the real story of the Lion of God begins. Frustrated by the delay, the most fearsome warrior of the enemy, a giant of a man named Amr ibn Abd Wud, could wait no longer. He was a legendary fighter whose strength was so renowned that it was said he alone was equal to 1,000 soldiers. He found a narrow section of the trench and, with a powerful leap, crossed it on his horse. Now, he stood before the Muslims and roared with arrogance, "Is there no man among you who will face me?" A terrifying silence fell over the Muslim camp. The companions looked at each other, fear clearly visible in their eyes. Who would dare to face this Amr? Just then, a young man stood up from the Muslim ranks. He was Ali ibn Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with him. He said, "O Messenger of God, I will fight him." The Prophet looked at him and said, "He is Amr. Sit down." Amr issued his challenge again, and again there was silence. And again, it was only Ali who stood up. "I will fight him," he insisted. This happened 3 times. There was no fear in Ali's heart, only immense faith in God. Seeing his unwavering courage, the Prophet finally gave his permission. He placed his own blessed turban on Ali's head, handed him his legendary sword, Zulfiqar, and prayed, "O Allah, help him." Ali calmly walked forward. Amr laughed mockingly at his youth. "I do not wish to kill you," he said sarcastically. Ali's response was calm but powerful. He said, "But I wish to kill you." He then, according to the principles of Islam, offered Amr 3 options: accept Islam, withdraw from the battlefield, or fight. Consumed by arrogance, Amr chose to fight. The duel that followed was incredible. Dust swirled around as the 2 warriors clashed. Amr was like a giant, with immense experience, but Ali was fighting with the strength given by God. At one point, Amr struck a fierce blow which Ali blocked with his shield. Then, with a speed that no one could even see, Ali struck a single, devastating blow with his Zulfiqar. The strike was so powerful and precise that it sliced through Amr's shield and helmet and ended his life. As Amr fell to the ground, a thunderous cry of "Allahu Akbar, God is the greatest," erupted from the Muslim camp. Seeing their invincible hero defeated by the young Ali, the morale of the entire pagan army shattered. Their spirit was broken, and soon their siege failed. One man, through his unimaginable faith and courage, had saved an entire nation. But this wasn't the only display of his incredible strength. Years later, during the battle to conquer the fortress of Khaybar, Ali's shield was knocked from his hand. Without a moment's hesitation, he tore a massive iron door of the fortress from its hinges and used it as a shield for the rest of the battle. It was said that after the battle, it took 40 strong men to move that same door. This incident further cemented the truth of Hazrat Ali's unbelievable strength. His strength was not just physical. It was the strength of his character, his unwavering faith, and his unconditional love for God and his messenger. He was the ultimate warrior on the battlefield, but at home, he was a loving husband and father who lived an extremely simple and humble life. He proved that true strength lies not in lifting weights, but in the purity of the heart and the depth of faith. If this incredible story of Hazrat Ali's faith and unparalleled courage has touched your heart and inspired you, please show your love by giving this video a like. And to not miss more powerful and educational stories from Islamic history in the future, subscribe to the Religious Story Movies channel now and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.